What's going on, guys? Welcome to another one of my videos. Today I'm giving you guys my predictions on The Walking Dead Season 6, Episodes 6, 7, and 8. The rest of the first half of Season 6. It's zombies, yo. Okay, now of course if you guys have not seen any of the previous episodes or have read the comics and you guys do not want to know what happens in the comics, I am going to be giving some spoilers away. So please, if you guys do not want that spoiled, do not watch this video because I'm going to be giving it away. So, before I watched The Talking Dead last night, I had some predictions written down, and here's what it was. First of all, I thought that Daryl was going to run out of gas because if you remember in episode 3, Glenn's episode, I'm calling it, Daryl was driving all around, and I did not really understand why they did that. Why would they have Daryl drive all the way around for him to just come right back to Sasha and Abraham? And the only thing that I could think of was that Daryl is going to run out of gas. And now after watching The Talking Dead last night, I think I've changed my predictions because they gave the sneak peek, and unfortunately I can't find that sneak peek anywhere on YouTube or even on AMC.com. So if anyone has that sneak peek, please let me know where we can find it, and I will put a link to that in the description. But in this, we see Daryl has already been separated from Sasha and Abraham, and he looks really tired. He looks really worn, and he drives off into the woods, and then eventually falls off his bike and falls on his back. And then a zombie is around him, makes a noise, and Daryl is alerted. Now this was really confusing to me because usually on The Talking Dead they really don't give much away, but I feel like this they kind of did. They really gave a lot away. So first of all, we know that Daryl gets separated from the other two, right? But we don't really know how. Now Daryl looks like he might have gotten injured on this because he's kind of leaned over on his bike and he looks kind of like he's injured. So maybe he got shot. That's why he goes off in the woods and has to lie down, right? But then he hears the zombie and he really panics, and he gets this look on his face, a really panicked look from one zombie that Daryl would not get, you know? And that's why I'm starting to think that maybe Daryl was drugged. Maybe the character that we are going to see that we've seen in the trailer that a lot of people think is Dwight, maybe he, you know, I don't know, shot a poison dart or something, or somehow poisoned Daryl or drugged Daryl. And Daryl's kind of, you know, starting to hallucinate or something and just getting really dizzy, and eventually maybe will pass out, and then that's when we will see Dwight, or, you know, I don't know for sure that it is Dwight from the comics, but a lot of people are assuming that it's Dwight. It kind of looks like Dwight, and I could definitely see it being Dwight. So maybe that's when we see him, and they say in the episode preview that we are introduced with a new threat. So maybe that's when we see him. He has Daryl tied up. I don't know how Daryl's going to get away because I looked in the trailer and it shows Daryl running away with the bag that the girl was holding on to. So maybe he kills them and then gets away somehow and comes back and tells Rick what's going on. Or maybe he gets back in perfect timing with, you know, the No Way Out. I really don't know, but he gets their bag. So he gets out of his restraints and maybe overtakes them, maybe kills them. I doubt he kills them. Maybe he kills the other two and leaves Dwight, and maybe that ultimately is what pisses Negan off. And if you guys know in the comics, leave now if you don't want to know what happens, or mute it, whatever. In the comics, Rick kills one of Negan's guys and he gets pissed and Negan has to kill one of his guys. I'm going to be doing another video someday on who I think Negan is going to kill. I don't think it's going to be who he actually kills. But anyway, I think that may be what pisses Negan off, so maybe we will actually see Negan in the second half of Season 6. I don't really know for sure, but maybe that's what's going to piss Negan off, and maybe he's going to have a special grudge towards Daryl, so maybe he will take his anger out on Daryl. I don't know yet, just speculating. So that's what I think is going to happen to Daryl. Now, Sasha and Abraham, they get run off the road too, and they have to abandon their vehicles, and they're trying to find Daryl. Now, I think Daryl is injured, and he's definitely in trouble, so they're trying to find him. I don't know if they do find him because we do not ever see them together. Even when Daryl escapes, they're not together. So I think Daryl's going to escape by himself, Sasha and Abraham. I don't think one of them is going to die. I think they're going to be fine. Don't really know what's going to happen with them. Probably just a lot of running around, killing zombies, you know, eventually maybe making their way back. I don't know. In next episode, I really don't know if these guys are going to make it back to Alexandria. I just think it's going to be really crazy, and maybe we'll see what happens in 7 and 8. So that's kind of what I think about episode 6 of season 6, 6. There's not a whole lot that we're given. A lot with Daryl. We can kind of speculate what's going to happen. I don't know if he's injured or drugged or just really tired. Maybe he's a little dehydrated. I don't know. But something's going on with Daryl. He's going to get kidnapped, and we're going to meet maybe Dwight or maybe somebody else. We don't know. But something's going to happen to Daryl. Sasha and Abraham, they're going to try to do some shit. Now, episode 7 and 8. No Way Out. Maybe. I hope. I really hope. If you guys don't know No Way Out, go look it up. There's some really good videos on No Way Out. But No Way Out, I really hope they drag this between 2 episodes. Or maybe make, the second half of 7 the start of No Way Out. And then episode 8 is a 90-minute episode, which would be really nice as well. Now, No Way Out. 7, I could see the first half of 7, or maybe even the whole episode be about Glenn. How Glenn got out of that sticky situation, and maybe who saved him. I don't know, because I'm definitely not convinced that Glenn is dead. So I really, really, really hope that they show how he got out of that situation. I hope they don't just show Glenn walking through the front gates. I think that would be really bad and anticlimactic. So I really hope that they show how he got out, because there's so many theories going around. Oh, Glenn, he goes under the dumpster, he goes in the dumpster, he goes in a manhole. Nick was hallucinating. Jesus comes saves him. Rick comes saves him. We don't know. Something's going to happen. I really hope they show what happens, though, and not just, oh, Glenn's back. Yay, he's alive. You know what I mean? So that's what I think about that. Maybe that could be the whole episode 7 or the first half of episode 7. And then we have No Way Out. Now, how is No Way Out going to happen? I don't see it happening like it does in the comics, at least the start of it, how the zombies break in just through, busting down the wall, because that's a really sturdy wall. So what I think is going to happen, the wolf that Morgan captured is somehow going to get out, whether it's an Alexandrian going in that house and then the wolf, kills them and gets out of there. He's going to get out, and he's gonna open the gate. Maybe, I don't know if he knows that the zombies are there. Maybe he's just going to try to escape, but he opens the gate. He probably gets, demolished, and then all the zombies come in, and that's when No Way Out starts. Now, No Way Out, how I see it going down. Now, in the comics, you guys know that Morgan dies, and he dies exactly how Tyrese dies. Now, because of this, because they already gave Morgan's death to Tyrese, I don't think Morgan's going to die in No Way Out. At least, I could see him dying later, maybe at the end of season 6, but I don't think he's going to die in No Way Out. Let's see, Carl. How is Carl going to lose his eye? Well, let's see. Jesse, we all know that the group goes out and they try to run away from the herd, and Sam gets grabbed, and Jesse's holding on to Sam, and then Jesse gets grabbed, and she's holding on to Carl, and she won't let go of Carl, so Rick chops her at the wrist, and so they're gone, and Jesse screams, "Don't leave me, don't leave me." I could definitely see that happen again. Maybe not Sam going down, but I could see Jesse going down again. And Rick, obviously chooses his son over his mistress. So I could definitely see Jesse going down, and then maybe, I could see Ron getting pissed at Rick, and you didn't save my mom, and maybe he's going to try to shoot Rick, and maybe accidentally shoot Carl. That could be one way that Carl loses his eye. Also, I could see, because in the comics, it's Douglas that accidentally shoots Carl, and we don't have a Douglas, as far as I know. So I mentioned this in my first video. I could see Deanna being the representation of Douglas, because she's kind of losing it right now. So I could see her, losing her mind, and this is going down, and she's like, oh, I gotta get out there and help. I can't just sit here. So she gets out there with the gun. She starts shooting some zombies, and Rick's like, no, stop shooting. You're gonna attract more. And then a bullet accidentally hits Carl. So that's 2 ways that I could see that going down. And then, of course, they have to go in and operate on Carl. And then, of course, we have the huge fight, which is just going to be amazing, and I really hope they do a great job. I'm so excited to see how they do that, the big fight with Rick, Michonne, and then, of course, Abraham goes out there and helps all of them, but Abraham's not there, so I really don't know how that's going to go down and who is going to die. I'm really excited to see what they have in store for us with with the rest of this season. And then, of course, next season, or not next season, but the second half of season 6, I feel like, we're going to get introduced to Jesus and probably the hilltop. And then I could see at the very end of season 6, we have the incident with the one savior that Rick puts down. And then, they're like, oh shit, you're going to piss off Negan, and that's going to be the end of season 6. Maybe we'll get introduced with Negan, but I don't even think that they've casted the actor to play Negan yet. So that means they haven't even filmed it or really maybe even planned it. So I don't know if we're going to see Negan yet. It seems like Negan's going to be the main focus in season 7 possibly, but right now we have No Way Out to look forward to, and I'm so excited with that. I'm very excited to see what they're going to do with it. So that's my predictions, guys, for episodes 6, 7, and 8. I want to know what you guys think, though. So put in the comments what you guys think is going to happen. If you guys have any questions, please leave your questions down in the comments, and I will probably answer them in my next video. Hope you guys did enjoy this. If you did, a like would be much appreciated, as well as a subscription to my channel. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you guys next time.